Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to level up, be your ideal self, and create your dream reality. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning. In a little while, at 9 a.m. this morning, we're going to have our 9th live stream, our 9th live event on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. Be sure to tune in. If you're a member, tune in. If you're not, check it out. I want to talk about a session yesterday where this client had some questions that a lot of you have. And here are some of them, and we're going to unpack it like we never have before. How do I ignore conditions? He was referring to this idea that I've talked about, that another client had this mantra that said, conditions are conditions, but I am. In other words, reality is reality, but I am. I get to determine my experience of it, right? How can I level up and become the best version of myself with the world the way it is? What's happening in the world? He's referring to the war and other things, right? There are people and conditions that are making my reality hell. I don't get it. All of these questions I've hit, and I'm going to hit it on the live stream this morning. Especially, we're going to hit some of these questions. But remember, you create your entire life experience, your entire experience of reality, right? There is a co-creation, but that co-creation is with God. And what is God? God is the isness of reality. It's the totality of all consciousness and all awareness. So God allows you to create within that. God doesn't meddle in the middle. And so you, as a point of consciousness with all the other points of consciousness, create this reality that you agree on. And if you keep that in your focus, that becomes your life experience. You get to determine your experience of reality, all of it, no matter what. We're going to talk about more of this on the live stream. It's not about them. It's not about the conditions. It's not about the how, when, where, and why. It's about the who, and the who is you. There is no out there. There is no them. There is no why. It's all you. You create your hologram, your experience of that world. But remember, you're all that is. And as all that is, you're all awareness, all consciousness. You're an individualized point of that consciousness. But within each point of consciousness is all of consciousness. So you're not separate from any of it. So it is a co-creation of consciousness. But you're all of it as well. So you get to determine all of your experience of it. No matter what is out there, you get to determine your relationship to it. As that point of consciousness that's focused in this 3D experience, this hologram that you've created within. So let's hit this like we never have before. Conditions are conditions, but I am. You are all that is. You are the awareness, consciousness, source, knowing yourself experientially by creating the illusion of time, the illusion of space, and the illusion of change. That's how you know yourself as awareness, as consciousness. To be aware of something, you create this, what we call an illusion of time, space, and change. Because it's just awareness, it's consciousness. But to be aware, to be conscious, to know what it's like to be consciousness, you create this illusion. In other words, you create conditions within that one changeless, unconditional reality that is called God. You create that, right? Or all that is, or source. Lots of names for that. Or the Father, which we've called it. We've called it source. We've called it the Father, all that is, or God. It's that absolute isness or existence of life itself. It's that pure awareness. It's that unconditional love of which you are made and from where you come, right? So you are all that is, the Son of God, right? I am, experiencing itself through infinite perspectives, infinite vantage points, and infinite viewpoints, right? I am that I am, the great I am. That's the Father, right? Knowing itself through its Son. It's the great isness of reality, the one reality, the only reality, ultimate reality, that is not aware of anything outside of itself. So how does it know that it's that? It knows it through its Son, through that beingness. It's the great I am. It's I am that I am. The Father, knowing itself through its Son, the absolute isness of reality, ultimate reality, knowing itself through the beingness or the all that isness, the I am awareness. And that's you, the Son, right? That's the answer to the great paradox. The Father and I are one, but my Father is greater than I. That's always been that great divine paradox, but that's the answer. The Father is not separate from the Son. The Son's not separate from the Father, but the Father is forever greater. The isness, or the great I am, is forever greater, right? But you as the Son get to experience what it's like to be that isness, to be that ultimate reality through the beingness, through being aware of something, through being conscious of something, of yourself. Remember, it's you contemplating yourself. That's why Source and I are one, but my Source is greater than I. That's what that means. Source, the source of all reality, and I, you as a point of consciousness are one, but your Source is greater than you. It has to be, but you're one with it. That's the great paradox. That's why Jesus said, is it not written in your law, you are gods? That's what that means, right? Sons of God, the Son of God. Remember, we talk about sons of God, or the individualized points of consciousness, but it's still just one Son, one I amness, of which we are all a part, and an entire part of. But that all makes up that I am of beingness, that oneness with the great I am, or source of reality. So we're going to see this today and more. I've talked about this in many different ways. So you are the Son. I am awareness, consciousness, in the one divine mind of God, being aware or conscious of itself as I am awareness. Right? I am contemplating itself from infinite perspectives, experiencing itself from infinite viewpoints and vantage points. These experiences or changing conditions or appearances created the illusion, or creates the illusion, of time, space, and change within that awareness of being or consciousness that is eternally unchanged, untouched, and unaffected by anything taking place within it. Do you see it? So it's I am contemplating itself, knowing itself from infinite perspectives, experiencing itself from infinite viewpoints, vantage points. These experiences or changing conditions or appearances create the illusion of time, space, and change, and create the illusion of a 3D reality, of an out there, right? Of beingness, of consciousness that's eternally, but that beingness or consciousness that you are is forever unchanged, untouched, and unaffected by everything taking place within it. You are that awareness within which nothing affects it. It is all just an experience of all that isness. It's a movie taking place within you, within your awareness, within your consciousness. So remember we talked about, this client got into talking about the idea of leveling up. And you notice I say that at the beginning of every video. I introduce Be Something Wonderful, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Well, what does that mean? Well, I've talked about levels of creation or levels of awareness. Right, and I want to talk about it again because it fits with today's video. Level 7, remember 7 levels, the 7 meaning absolute knowing, right? The metaphysical meaning of the number 7, the biblical meaning of the number 7 in Scripture, meaning total completion, total knowing, total divinity, absolute perfection, 7 levels of creation. So the highest level is Source. It's the Father. It's the absolute isness of reality. It's existence itself. It's the great I am, or what we call God. Right? It's the totality of all awareness, of all consciousness. Right? That's forever just is, not conditioned by anything, not knowing anything outside of itself. Right? And its first manifestation, its first creation is the Son, the I am awareness. Right? That ability, that divine power to know yourself as awareness, to know yourself as isness or as God. That's what the first manifestation is. That's the Son. That's all that is. That's the beingness. That's the divine mind. That's the pure potential. Within that is all potential. But still, it's all potential to be all things, but it's nothing in particular. Right? It creates the experience of being something. But it's not, it's all that is. It's that all that isnness. It's that sun. And then you have the fifth level, the I am identity. What Scripture called the Son of Man. Remember, Jesus referred to himself as the Son of God and the Son of Man. The ultimate self-concept. Your true identity as the Son of God, expressed or experienced. That's what the Son of Man means. It's that ideal. The ideal, God's ideal of you as the Son of God, expressed or experienced within the context of reality. Right? Remember we talked about content and context. With the ability to create content within that context of being the Son of God. That's what the Son of Man is. It's the physical experience. It's the physical expression of that beingness. And that beingness being one with the Father. The Father and I are one, but the Father is greater than I. I am. Right? Not greater than me, not the small me, greater than I am. Greater than I am, greater than I am awareness is the Father or source. So this level is where you're always creating. This is your true identity. This is what it means to level up, looking upward at those higher levels of from where you come and of which you are made, that beingness. That source is you, but you get to identify as an individualized point of consciousness within that beingness. The Son of Man, the ultimate self-concept. So I know a lot of coaches talk about working on your self-concept. There is nothing to work on. You're already that ultimate self-concept. When we talk about, what they really mean about working on your self-concept is just being more aware of who you really are. In all cases, healing in the metaphysical journey, all of it is about becoming more aware of who you really are. That's what manifesting, creating reality, perceiving more of reality, all of it really means is an increase in your awareness of the awareness that you already are. That's what it means to rise in vibration. To rise in resonancy, to rise in frequency, to rise in your correspondence with reality, to rise in positivity, all means to the degree that you're more aware of who you really are, your true identity as the Son of Man, as the Son of God, as Source. Wow, that's power. I don't think we've ever said it more clear than we have today. So, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Jesus asked. The Son of Man. Level 5. Jesus was talking about this level. Jesus the man, the Son of Man. The I am identity, knowing that he is source, knowing that he's the Son of God. Right? Identifying with that, to the extent where they picked up stones ready to stone him. Right? The ultimate self-concept, your true identity as source, as the Son of God, expressed or experienced. That's what Jesus said. You get to experience or express that divinity, that true heritage of who you are. Right? So here you are. That's the Son of God. You're all identities. You're all realities. You're all versions. You're a multidimensional infinite being. Expressing yourself as the Son of Man in the physical experience, but without ever losing that divinity, without ever losing who you really are. You're that multidimensional all that isness, that I am awareness. Having that physical experience. Do you see it? Where you're looking out in a specific focus, a specific viewpoint, vantage point, and perspective, but you never lose that all that isness. The Son of Man, the ultimate self-concept, you're always that. That's beautiful. So that's what it means then to level up and become the best version of yourself. That's why we say that in every video. I've been saying that since our first video. day one, I think. Right? I think we have 1,800 videos now, nearly 10 million views. So we've come a long way. Remember, so what does it mean to level up and become the best version of yourself? It's to remember you already are. I'm going to say it again. What does it mean to level up and become the best version, tongue twister, version of yourself? To remember you already are that version. All other levels, we saw these levels, 7, 6, 5, you as the Son of God, you as the Son of Man having the physical experience, Jesus asking that eternal question, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? All other levels, 4, 3, 2, 1, are effects or manifestations of your self-concept and assumptions. Your identity, in other words, as the Son of Man, as the Son of God. They're all manifestations. They're all results of that. But what happens is we generally work in those lower levels, trying to change things, trying to manipulate things, trying to become something different, trying to fix ourselves, trying to fix our self-concepts from these lower levels of creation. We're going to cover these lower levels right now, but that's where all the struggle, all the pain comes from. Everything that you create, that you believe is unwanted or negative, comes from starting there. Because remember, they're just conditions. Whether they're good or bad or unwanted or negative or positive, you label those, you judge that. That's why Jesus said, judge not according to appearance, because you can't judge appearances, right? You are that Son of God. You are that Son of Man. So level 4, what is that? That's the core or root assumptions of linear time, space, and change, the experience of conditioning I am, right? So you have your perceptions of what reality is. That's the perceiving based on your root assumptions. This is where you create the physical experience, where you're able to perceive the physical experience. These aren't meant to be limitations. They're meant for you to be able to focus in from this identity, from the Son of Man, from the Son of God, from being this, to be able to see out through all that isness, everything, every identity that you are, superimposed one over the other. It's level 4 where you're able to have that physical experience, right? You're able to condition that I am. You're able to have the perception of time, space, and change, but not to identify with it as who you are, but rather as an experience of who you really are, the ultimate reality, God, the Son of God, all that is. Right? And then level 3 are the thoughts and assumptions that you're more consciously aware of. Remember, level 4 is what you identify as what you believe you are. You believe these assumptions of linear time, space, and change are so real that you believe they're truth. But they're not the truth of who you are. They're just perceptions. Right? Who you really are, your true perception, your true identity is this. The Son of Man as the Son of God, as source. That's your true identity. But you're seeing out through these root assumptions, and we identify so strongly with linear time, so strongly with time, space, and change, that we believe that is reality. We believe those perceptions are who we are, as opposed to an experience of who we really are. Then you have thoughts and assumptions that you're more consciously aware of. Right? These are the thoughts and assumptions that are going on within you all the time. You have these images of the past or in the present moment or what you believe you want to create in the future. All of those are images. That's level 3. Then level 4 are feelings and emotions or sensations. So you have perceptions, images, and sensations. Those are all experiences in the divine mind of God. All of those feelings and emotions. Remember, you're only ever feeling levels. You're only ever feeling. You're only ever feeling these levels, right? You're only ever feeling your thoughts. You're only ever feeling your assumptions. You're only ever feeling levels 3 through 7, right? Because this is the level where you have those sensations, where you have what we call emotions. But remember, feelings and emotions don't determine outcomes. Look where they are on the scale or the levels of reality creation. They're at level 2, almost near the bottom. So they don't create or determine outcomes. They can influence it, but they don't create. Your assumptions create. Your assumptions of who you are create your entire life experience. Who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? That's what creates your reality, and you have root assumptions or core assumptions about time, space, and change that determine those outcomes. And then you have thoughts and assumptions about those, right, that you're more consciously aware of. And then you feel those levels 3 through 7, right? So they don't determine outcomes. And then you have level 1, 3D manifested reality, physical experience, action, who we believe we are, but we're not that. Right? This is where we get caught most of the time. At the lowest level, where we try to make change, where we ask why things are happening like they're happening. We keep all of our focus here or what we're feeling. When these are all effects, level 4, 3, 2, and 1 are all effects or manifestations of your core concept or assumptions. That's big today. So you're always shifting frames, realities, identities, whatever you want to call it, lifelines or timelines, billions of times per second, as Bashar and other spiritual greats talk about, through infinite parallel realities or identities, because that's what a parallel reality is. It's just a different identity of you, right? A parallel Earth, but that parallel Earth is projected from within an identity of you. So nothing is ever the same, and nothing is as it appears to be except I am identity, except who you are. Nothing appears as it is except this identity as the Son of Man, as that manifestation of the Son of God, as that source, right? So here you are, you have that linear experience, right? Time, space, and change that we talked about. In that level 4, the core assumptions that you have about reality. And so that's so you can experience change in that changeless reality. So you can know yourself as source. And you have that present frame. That blue is your present frame. Remember here, that's your physical experience. But that present frame is the Son of Man right there. That ultimate self-concept experiencing a linear experience of past, present, and future. But it's all happening within you. Who you were in your linear past and who you will be, your linear future, are all determined in the present moment by who you are right now. Who you just say you are right now. This and this is created by that question that Jesus asked. Who do men say I, the Son of Man, am? That ultimate self-concept, that identity. When you answer that question, you are that identity. You are that assumption. You are that. And that identity creates a linear past that makes sense to who you're being now. I've talked about this the last few days. And it creates a linear future that makes sense with who you are now. So who you are now creates it all in the now moment. Right? It is all created by who you say you are and who you're being right now. That's how you level up, because that's who you really are. That's powerful. Conditions are conditions, but I am doesn't mean ignoring or avoiding those conditions. I've never said that. And some of you go, well, Tom, you talk, I don't say that. I know a lot of spiritual teachers talk about that. Why would you ignore or reject or try to avoid conditions when they're being projected from within you? It's about transcending them, being bigger than your creations, being greater than anything that is projected from within you. That's what we're talking about. It means that the conditions or experience of 3D reality is always changing based on who you say you're being. That's what that is meant by that conditions don't matter. Because you're the one that matters. They're not matter without you, right? They don't matter. They're always changing based on who you say you are or who you're being. When you focus on and give your time, space, and attention to being the best version of you, that ideal, the ideal in the sense of the Son of Man, Jesus was the ideal, the physical manifested ideal of the Son of God, right? Everything and everyone out there must reflect and yield to your ideal state or identity. They must. But you asking why they haven't or why this is happening means you haven't moved. You're not that identity. You're the identity that's saying, why is it haven't happened? Where's my SP after all these years? We're going to hit this on the live stream this morning because some of you had some questions. And there was a big question on one that I think went through various coaches. And one that wrote me actually, it might have been a different one, that said she hasn't met with me yet. But she's met with dozens of coaches and is really just kind of burnt out on this, right? And is saying, so it's all lies then. This is what she's saying. It's all lies that 3D conditions don't matter, that you can imagine what you want. But remember, that's what you're creating. You're creating a reality where you don't create your ideal reality, where after years you're not with your SP. You're creating that right now. There is no time. You might say, no, I'm responding or reacting to conditions. No, you put the conditions there and now you're reacting to them, right? So everything and everyone out there must reflect and yield to your ideal state of being or identity. That's what it means to level up and become the best version of yourself because you already are. You're the Son of Man, the Son of God. That's how to level up, be your ideal self, and create your dream reality. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for joining me here this morning. Thank you for being part of our live stream. If you are at 9 o'clock this morning, at 9 a.m. Pacific Coast Standard Time, thank you for just being on the channel and commenting and participating in leveling up with me every day, almost every morning. Don't forget, you can also find us on Facebook, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors. We have a group there that's open for you at facebook.com/group/Be Something Wonderful, at Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, at TikTok at Be Something Wonderful. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin coming to you from the studios of Be Something Wonderful in Las Vegas. Until next time, we'll see you soon.